Hello, folks. This is Joe from My Geek Scene. I'm here at the Grand Rapids Comic Con with James of The Odd Ones Out.
Hello, I'm James from The Odd Ones Out.
James, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's a little cold, but, you know, I'm inside most of the time.
For those who are not familiar, James is the YouTube extraordinaire, creator of The Odd Ones Out webcomic and the YouTube channel, The Odd Ones Out, where you do animated videos. Or is it animatics?
There's actually like a big debate about like what to call them. People say like, oh, it's not real animation, and some people are like, oh, but it is animation because it creates the illusion of movement. But to me, I don't really care what it's called. I'm just like, oh, semantics. It's just I enjoy making them, so you call them animation, call them animatics, whatever. I enjoy making them, and I know how much effort is put into them, so.
That makes sense. I would call it animation, but I'll be the first to admit, like, prior to your appearance, I was not familiar with you, but, no offense. But doing my research, I legitimately watched all 104 videos on your main channel.
I'm sorry.
No, actually, if I thought they sucked, I wouldn't have even bothered to attempt to do an interview with them. I actually enjoyed all of them. They were entertaining, and I checked out, I want to say 98% of your videos on the TheOdd1sOut. I think the only one I didn't watch was like the hour and 43-minute Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
But no, very enjoyable. Good job, dude.
Thank you. I'm glad. I think my videos are very bingeable. So when you discover my channel, then there's always that back catalog of videos to go through. So, you know, that's.
And it was good insight into you as a person too.
Thank you.
Throughout all the years that you've been doing it. But initially when you started out, because I mentioned that you did webcomics, before you started doing webcomics, your dream job was to be a cartoonist. So any influential cartoonist?
Oh yeah, Garfield, Calvin and Hobbes, and The Far Side. My parents always said that I had to read for however long I wanted to go on the computer. So I would read comic books. I would read Garfield and Calvin and Hobbes, and then they were like, there's words in them, close enough. So then I really got into comics, and I was like, I want to do this. So I started out with comics at first.
No, actually, Calvin and Hobbes is my favorite comic strip of all time.
Oh yeah,
I own the entire collection that Bill Watterson and them put out like a few years ago. Actually, I bought like 4 copies, one for myself and then like 3 others to give out. And The Far Side by Gary Larson, that was a cool series too. Yeah. Actually, I own that entire series as well.
It's always weird because like those cartoons are made in like the 70s and 80s, and so some of the jokes are a little outdated, but they're also like really, you know, they're universal and they stand the test
I would agree.
of time. Yeah.
Like Calvin and Hobbes is eternal.
Yes.
I meant hands down. Now, I know while doing research on you, I found out that you liked Pearls Before Swine.
Oh, yeah, that one too. I forgot to mention.
And Foxtrot. Have you been ever had the opportunity to meet any of the artists behind some of those, some of your favorite comic strips?
There was one time I met Stephen Pastis, who did Pearls Before Swine. It was before I even did comics. Well, actually, I did stick figure comics in school, and I really loved his comics, and he was coming down to Arizona, and my parents were like, oh, we got to meet him. So then I met him. He did this little like panel thing, and then I showed him one of my comics, and it was this little stick figure comic. And I'll just try and say what the comic was about. These 2 stick figures were walking inside, and another guy was like, so how'd your run go? And then the other stick figure says, well, let's just say Justin over here is all pooped out. Ha 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 ha. And then the other guy's like, what happened? And then the guy's just like, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
So it was a poop joke. And so I still showed that to Steven, and he actually laughed. So, you know, that made an impact on me, and I really like that experience.
I would like to meet Bill Ammond behind Foxtrot because Jason is one of the coolest characters ever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's one of those nerds that shows that math and science can be super cool, you know. I forgot the name of his friend in this series.
I forgot his name too. Whoops.
Forgive me.
He has an iguana named Iggy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you still hate the Family Circus?
Of course. Hate's a strong word, right? But it's just, your hate's a strong word. I just don't enjoy it. It's not my cup of tea. Other people can enjoy it. It's fine. But I forgot where I mentioned that I didn't like Family Circus. Must have been an old video. But people like always ask me. They're like, James, I made this Family Circus cartoon for you, and I'm just like, how'd you know?
So, since we're still on comic strips, have you ever seen the Stripped documentary?
No, what's that about?
All right, Stripped it came out like a few years ago. I want to say less than 10 years. And it's a documentary about like the history of comic strips in the newspapers. And it gives a brief history, and then you get all of these interviews from, including the dude from Pearls Before Swine, like all of these artists and creators behind it, like throughout the ages. And it even goes into like webcomic territory, like the two dudes behind Penny Arcade. And like you're just getting their take on the history of comics and like how it started and where it's going and stuff like that. It's really fascinating. And like if you get the deluxe edition, you have like well over 26 hours of interview material through all of these guys. But you can get it for like super cheap now. But since you're into those old school strips, I would recommend checking that out. Even Bill Watterson, he doesn't make an appearance on camera, but he does his voice appears talking about certain things. I was like, that's enough for me to get it.
Yeah, I should check it out.
Favorite webcomic, sir?
Oh, favorite webcomic. Ooh. There's the Penny or Extra Fabulous comic. That's always fun. There's always like a lot of good ones. You make me pick favorites. Owl Turd is always good. The foul language comics with the duck. Those comics are always about like a duck with his kids. And I don't have kids, but they're still relatable because like I was like a rowdy kid, you know. So what's your favorite webcomic?
Oh, I wasn't really expecting to be asked questions. But no, Perry Bible Fellowship.
Yeah,
by Nicholas Gurwitch. That is hilarious, and I do enjoy the punchline is machismo.
Oh, or
and Octopus Pie.
Webcomic name. That's another one.
Oh, okay.
And False Sneeze. I need to like go through my Twitter followers and see, or who I follow on Twitter. And
but there's so many great webcomics out there. It's impossible to check out every single one.
Oh yeah.
Some of them slip through the cracks. Now, I found your webcomic to be pretty funny.
Sweet. Good.
I read through all of those.
Oh no.
No, I did. Seriously. This is not a bad thing. I wouldn't bring it up if it was, you know. I mean, they
were like, oh, I didn't go to sleep. I just watched your videos, and I'm just like, oh, it's not worth it.
No. I had all your videos done well before the Comic-Con, but just like last night because the thing with me is if I know I have to get up early for something, my body will just not go to sleep. Like, hell, it's cold in the room. We're under all these warm blankets. I'm going to start heating up to the point that I start sweating under all this. Like, why are you doing this to me? I want to get some sleep. Yeah. That's too bad. We're going to be staying up all night. Enjoy that song playing over and over and over again in your head. I don't know. But I found your webcomics to be pretty funny.
Thank you.
Comedic influences, sir.
Comedic influences. There's just a lot of the other like old school comics. Yeah, you know, like Garfield and Calvin and Hobbes. There was another one.
Garfield.
There was another one. Loading Artist. Loading Artist, I think, was a influence on my style. He had these little like bubble characters, and they had like pure white skin and everything. So I really liked Loading Artist. That was another, I guess, influence.
I mean, the comic that stood out to me. Well, there was two comics. The comic about the new game of Saw that involved walking on Legos with bare feet.
Oh, that was an old one, but dude, yeah.
That's torture right there.
Yeah.
And I liked the pun that you threw in, going to the funeral.
Which one was that?
I'm not much of a mourning person.
Oh.
It's like, dude, your grandma's dead. Yeah, we weren't close. You know? It's just like, oh my God, that's so terrible, but it's great.
Just any morbid puns, I think, are hilarious.
Will the webcomic return?
I want to. I think it would be fun. The reason why I haven't updated the webcomic in like 2 years is just because I haven't come up with any ideas. I'm mostly focusing on the videos. Whenever I do think of an idea for a joke, I always just tweet it out. You know, like
that's fair.
I think like I tweeted out this like joke where it's like, the year's 2069, and your grandson is beating you at the new virtual reality shooter game. And he says, "Wow, Grandpa, you stink at video games." "Oh, yeah?" You reply. "Well, how about we play some of the classics?" And then you hold up a copy of Halo 3. Like, that could have easily been a comic, but it just fit it in a tweet instead.
All right. I can see that, dude. Now, I did want to ask one question about your YouTube series. Did you have any ideas that were scrapped at the last minute while you were making a video?
But any like video ideas?
Yeah, like you were already like animating it and stuff like that, and you were like, this isn't working.
No. I write a script out for everything.
Which your mom edits.
Yeah, she still does do that. And well, other people too. And I get other people to read it, and then it's usually at that stage when I decide if the video is good or bad or not. There's one where I told this story about this horrible history teacher that I had, but then when people were reading it, they were like, "This isn't funny. This is just you complaining about your history teacher." And I like looked at it and was like, "Yeah, that seems fair." So I like scrapped that whole thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had, I thought you
I
were
was just gonna say, but like, there's never been a point where I'm like, I spent a week on a video and then I'm like, nah, not anymore. I'm just gonna throw it away. It's usually like I try not to waste that much time.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, actually, I wanted to learn a few things about you on the personal side. At the end of your favorite reptile video, it stated, "Ask your doctor about any cool animes that you've watched." Which cool animes have you watched, sir?
One Punch Man's my favorite.
That's a cool show
by a long shot. I've just seen a lot of the mainstream animes like Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note. I watched Sword Art Online, but I hated that one. And I will say, I hated that anime.
So you mentioned Full Metal Alchemist. You mean like the original series or Brotherhood? Brotherhood's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never seen the original series, but I've read all the manga to to Full Metal Alchemist, and I feel that Brotherhood, minus a few changes, follows it to a T. Excellent series. I wanted to make a comment. I liked that Corey in the House was playing on the TV during your Thoughts on Roommates video when you mentioned it, that he liked anime. Because at first, when I looked at that, I was like, oh my God, he's making a reference to Filthy Frank. But then I did more research into it, and then I found out that was an original meme before Filthy Frank did the Weeaboo video. So I was like, thank you for schooling me on that one. So why is Breloom one of your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, wow. You really did research into this.
Yeah. Sorry, forgive me. How'd you get started?
How'd you get started?
Well,
how do you make video? How do you make money on YouTube?
Yes. What do you use to edit?
So, I was actually playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. It was one about time. It was on the DS, and I got a Shroomish. That's the pre-evolution for Breloom. I got a Shroomish on my team, and then he just evolved into Breloom, and I was like, oh, he's so cute. And then Breloom was like one of the best like teammates that I had, and I was like, he's my new favorite, you know? So that's, I don't know. It's just, you have to, out of the 600 Pokemon, you got to pick one as your favorite, and that was the one I picked.
No, that's all good, dude. I mean, like the last official Pokemon game that I played was Yellow, and then the last Pokemon game I was Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64.
Jeez. They've made a couple new ones, a couple new Pokemon.
I've heard that, but it's just like, I'm old, and I don't have as much time as I'd like. Did you have an obsession with Billy Mays when you were a child?
Of course. I mean, well,
you made a few comics about him.
I mean, I might be stepping on some toes here. He's dead, but like
yes, I know this.
He was not a meme. He was a meme before he died. You know, like, hi, Billy Mays here. Just everyone liked to meme and joke around about it. So I thought it would be funny to do a lot of jokes and comics based off Billy Mays. That was before he died, by the way. And then
his energy always caught me off guard. Like I was like, man, this dude has a lot of energy.
This guy loves OxyClean.
Or other stuff. Like allegedly that he was on cocaine. I was like, that makes sense as to why that dude has so much energy during his videos. So I did want to make a commentary on the song that you did with Boy in a Band, Life is Fun. That was actually pretty fun. It was an inspirational song, but it was real honest at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of had a good message, but it was mostly just a fun little thing that we did. I saw a lot of comments that were like, wow, James is so positive. I'm so happy James is the optimistic side. But I'm like, I helped write that song, you know? Like, it wasn't, it was the optimistic voice, but the line, you're not special and one day you'll bury your mother, like, I wrote that line, so.
Real honest at the same time. Do you plan on making any more songs?
I'm actually, I'm in the talks with someone else. We haven't even, like, fleshed anything out. We're just been in the talks. I want to keep that on the DL.
No, well, I won't say anything else. I mean, you said what you said.
Yeah.
I won't explore into it a little bit more.
It's coming.
Will you be making another mixtape?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be my new Christmas tradition. Is for Christmas, I'm going to give all my fans a mixtape.
Nice cover of the Bells of Notre Dame.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I mean, I was like,
watched
dude, I told you I'd do my research. I don't try to go, like, as you've already figured out, I don't try to go for those stereotypical interviews.
No,
I'm trying to make it interesting for the guest.
It is like, I don't know, it's not weird, but it's just when people reference videos, like even old videos, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's out on the internet for anyone to see, you know? Like, I forget about that sometimes.
That's all good. So, do you see the content on your second channel a thing that you might transition into more into the future?
Yeah, probably. I think the second channel is just a meme channel where I post wherever I want, and I want to have a more presence on the internet, you know, instead of just like poking in once a month being like, hey guys, so cats, am I right? And then I just talk for 7 minutes and then I'm gone for another month. I want people to be able to like get to know me, I guess, like tune in to their classic James. So that's what I think I want the second channel to be.
Still playing the horn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the trumpet.
I did like when was Adam, something else YT, it came through. He was like, I guess like a turtle caught up in like the 6-packs, you know, when you're supposed to cut all the plastics and stuff like that. And he was tied up, and then all of a sudden, like the blooper video, he totally like ate it.
Now I know why. Now I know why you. What was it? Now I know why you recycle or something.
Yeah, something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
So as we're wrapping this up, let's talk about your book, How to Be Cool and Other Things I Definitely Learned from Growing Up.
What do you want to know about it?
What's the book about? I did not purchase the book in time to read it.
You didn't do any research.
None whatsoever, folks.
The book is basically kind of like a video script in book form. I do have some of the chapters are about videos that I've already I've done before. It's not like I just copied and pasted the whole script. There are like some differences, and I like expanded on some things. And also, there is this one chapter about getting PDA in 9th grade with my twin sister. So it's a good story, but I made it my second video, and that's when I knew nothing about how to make videos. So I kind of wasted that story on a crappy video. So I was able to retell it in the book and able to like make it more entertaining and have better pictures. So
yeah, but the video, like especially when my teacher was like, you know, when she was trying to tell on you folks, and then your regular teacher like schooled her on that.
It was a mic drop moment, but yeah, it was just it was so weird because the teacher that was trying to get us in trouble said, "Do you know that a blonde curly hair girl with a boyfriend that looks just like her?" And it's like,
that's not a clue as enough.
Yeah, do you not see the red flags?
And finally, let's talk about your successfully kickstarted game, Can't Catch Harry.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I've been like working on the cards and the rules and like play testing it a lot. So excited to see how everyone enjoys it.
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
I mean, that definitely blew past like what your initial asking goal was.
Yeah.
So hats off to you.
It's a pat on the back.
All right. So final 2 questions. If people wanted to find out more about you online, where could they go?
Twitter and Instagram. I'm more active on Twitter though. I like got an Instagram just because everyone told me to get an Instagram.
That's at TheOdd1sOut on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm verified on Instagram, but not on Twitter. So even though I use Twitter a lot more.
Okay. Final question. What would you like to say to all your fans throughout the years?
Wear your seatbelt. That was kind of given.
Yes, I kind of figured that was coming. Well, folks, this is Joe from My Geek Scene at the Grand Rapids Comic Con with James from TheOdd1sOut.
Hello.
Take it easy.
Wear your seatbelt once again.